This is Colorful Radio. Our music, our news, our views.
Ameriie, thank you so much for joining me on South Central on Colourful Radio today. I and the UK have really missed you.
Oh, thank you. I've missed you guys too.
Yay!
It's like a second home.
Oh, I'm pleased to hear that. Firstly, I'd like to ask, what or who do you appreciate today?
Who do I appreciate today? Is today an appreciation day?
Well, I asked this question to all my guests because on Sunday, we have this section in my show called Appreciation Sunday. And it's just basically a time to get people to really settle their mind after a busy, busy week and think about what they appreciate.
Oh, that's really good. It is good to slow down sometimes. You know what? I will say my mom, because I actually had a dream about my mom last night. And I was actually like, oh, I really miss her. And so, yeah.
Oh, so tell me more about your mum then, if you don't mind.
And my dad, too. I feel guilty now because there's only two. So when you pick one, you're leaving the other out. But my mom is really awesome. She's really supportive. She's I guess, what you would say would be your very loving, very involved, slightly smothering mother, but in a good way.
Yeah.
She's just always been there, and she's very supportive of like my creative endeavors, and she always has advice for everything,
as mothers do,
whether it's solicited or unsolicited. And she's the kind of mother that I really hope I can be, that I probably doubt I'll be able to be, but, I'm aiming for that one day.
Oh, that's a lovely thing to say. And I'm sure she'll appreciate you saying such kind things. Now, the first thing I noticed was the change in the spelling of your name. Now, why did you decide to change it?
It was just something that I wanted to do. It's funny because I always get this question, and there's a very exciting answer.
See, I was hoping there was this whole symbolic meaning, Ameriie.
Well, no, it was just, it's just a personal thing. It's like the vibe of it, the energy of it. So it's a personal meaning for me, though, but, that's all.
Now, you work in an image-conscious industry, and when you arrived on the scene in 2002 with your debut album, All I Have, did anything take you by surprise?
Not really. I don't think anything took me by surprise. No.
Really?
No.
Okay.
I think what I realized was that, sometimes you hear a lot about what the industry is and what it can be, and then I just realized that actually it can be whatever you want it to be.
Oh,
it can be as tame or as crazy as you want it to be.
That's actually a really good mindset to have, actually, because also as well, the question that I was going to ask you on the back of that was, if you could go back to 2002 and whisper into the ear of your younger self, what would you say? Would anything be different to what you just said?
Probably not. Because I felt that way from the beginning, and I think a lot of it is, maybe it's just, I don't know what it, I can't, I don't know. Maybe it's because when I was in school, I just kind of did a lot of like normal things. Like I went to school and I had a summer job, and then, I had a job at, I've had jobs in clothing stores. In high school, I had the stereotypical fast food job where you're like taking orders and, serving food out of a window and mopping the floor and, just all that stuff. And then I went to university, and so I had that, and I was pursuing, my chance to get into the industry. So I was pursuing that record deal, and I was making demos and everything on the weekends, but I was also going to class and doing all that stuff. And so I didn't get my record deal until my last year of university, right at the very end. So it didn't really conflict with anything as far as having to make a choice to stay or not. I actually graduated, and then right then the deal came. And so I think, you always are learning who you are, but I wasn't looking for outside validation at that time. So that, I think that sometimes trips people up, is when they get into the industry and they're looking to figure out who they are, and they're looking outside for people to tell them who they are.
Yes.
And I think that happens to a lot of people when they're really young too. When they get in the industry, it just can get so lost. And even people who aren't really young and they get in, if they just don't really have a strong sense of who they are, it's very easy to try to figure out who you are based on what everyone else thinks you should be. And then you'll be pulled in so many different directions. You just be torn apart, really, I think.
I fully agree with you. I have this discussion on the show all the time. And
Really?
and I always say, if I could allow everyone who's getting into the industry to have a therapist, as you call it over there, or just to have some like self-confidence building skills before they arrive into the industry, and also really understand psychology, I think everyone would have thicker skins and really be able to walk a lot taller when they enter into the industry. So I'm really glad you've said what you said, to be fair.
Especially women.
Oh God, especially women, because I do think they have to, or they feel pressured to conform a lot in the idea of what is sold to them as sex sells.
Yeah, it's just funny because I just had this discussion with my husband earlier this morning. We have this talk a lot because I feel very strongly about that issue. Women and just our identity and how we see ourselves, and the thing about it is women are beautiful. We are beautiful.
Yes, we are.
Guys are great too, but a nude woman, most people would think that a nude woman would look probably a little better than a nude guy. Just because there are bits that can look great on a guy and then bits that might not look so great on a guy sometimes.
Yes, fully understand. Is that Harry Potter?
And that is my Harry Potter vineyard because I am a nerd.
I've just learned something even more about you now, Marie. You like Harry Potter?
I love Harry Potter. You don't understand. Like, I have all the movies. I have three full sets of the Harry Potter books.
Oh my God.
I have the UK edition, the original US edition.
So hang on, as you're going to come over to the UK soon. Are you going to come to the Warner Brothers Studios?
Wait, is there a Harry Potter world? Because there's a Harry Potter world in Florida.
You sounded really excited just then. But yeah, we have a version here in, is it Livingston, something like that? I can't remember the full place. But yes, we definitely have one here. So you should make time in your schedule to visit the UK version.
Oh my goodness, you just don't understand. I am a big Harry Potter fan. I will definitely be there.
Brilliant. Okay, so just before that, we were talking about the industry and you having a conversation with your husband.
I have my own theory about it, but I really think that there's to a point where it sells and there's to a point where actually it doesn't sell. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the solution is, but I don't like that with female artists.
Yeah.
It's always sex, but that's just indicative of how people look at women in general. For men, they're valued in what they do. Women are valued how they look, and not so much what they do. And if they are doing something great and amazing, oh, wonderful! Yeah. This politician, she's so amazing and fantastic. Let's throw her on a magazine cover looking sexy.
Yeah.
But look how fashionable she is too. It's like it always has to be like how we look is always tacked on.
Yeah.
It's either the whole cake or it's the icing on the cake. It's never just like, wow, what a fantastic artist. And with men, you have men who are like sex symbol type artists, and you have men who are totally not sex symbols. They don't want to be a sex symbol. They aren't viewed that way. It's just about the music. You don't have as many female equivalents.
Now, as we already said, you're coming back to the UK and you're coming back the end of March, where you will be performing with a full band, and I do not doubt giving your fans your biggest hits as well as your new tracks. However, what does performing give to you? What does performing live especially give to you? Because obviously you're giving to the fans, but what does it give to you?
Really, it's just an exchange of energy, I think. It's just like good energy. And one of the things that my mom told me when I first started out, she said, always remember that what you're doing is actually kind of like... you're an artist, right? You're an artist and you create. That's what you do. But always remember that what you're doing is actually kind of like a service too. You make other people happy. You make other people feel good. So she was like, don't ever feel like you're above someone else or you're in this position. And she's like, you are actually here to make good energy for other people. So she's like, don't ever forget that aspect of it.
Yeah, that's really nice.
And so I just try to remember that.
I think that's a great thing to remember. Self-central means to own and embrace who you are, to be all that you are. And you're doing what you love and what you are passionate about. And we're beginning to see more aspects of you through your vlog, which is called Books, Beauty, Ameriie. And also, I hear that you're writing 2 novels. One is fantasy and the other one is for young adults. So what more are we yet to see from you?
Well, I'm working on those 2 things. Actually, one of the things I have to turn into my agent before I come out to the UK. So I am really getting that done. And that and the channel, really. And then I revamped my website, ameriie.com.
Which I love, by the way. I love
Thank
your shots
you.
as well. And going back to, you know, what we just discussed about what we consider to be sexy, etc., etc. You, in the majority of them, are fully clothed and you just look cool.
Yeah, you know, and the thing about it is, like I said, I always have this one video, an image in my head where I was like, I want to be riding a horse or a photo. I don't know what it is, but I want to be naked on a horse. I told my husband already, I want to be naked on a horse. No, it has to be, but it's not in a salacious way. It's just, I feel like it'll just be very beautiful. It's this image I've had in my head for years. So that said, you know, I'm not saying, hey, everyone has to be covered up all the time. I'm not saying that. I just think women were always constantly viewed as sexual objects. And, you know, there was a time, I think, especially like in the 80s, where in the 90s, where it was so important because, you know, women were kind of like, I guess, being socialized to think that, yeah, if you show too much skin, you're a whore. And, you know, I really dislike those terms. Yeah. I really dislike a lot of that stuff, especially when women call each other that. I don't know if we can say on the radio if those words are allowed, but you know.
No, but it's okay. We'll bleep them out.
Yeah, you know, the WHORE word and thought, THOT, thought word. I don't like that. I'm like, what? I see that sometimes online and women are like, yeah, that thought, you know, and I'm like, why are you saying that to another woman? What does that really mean? That, okay, because what? Is she very sexual? She has a lot of sex? I mean, what is that? What is a WHORE but a woman who has a lot of sex? Why is there a moral thing attached to that? Why is her value attached to that?
Do you know what I can see you doing? I can see you being like the new kind of UN ambassador for women's rights and how we're viewed. And yeah, I can just see that might be something that you choose to do in the future. But I definitely feel your passion in when you're discussing this, you know, these topics, and I'm sure you'll probably go down that route. If I'm right, I should be declared a psychic because I can see it.
That would be a lot on my plate. That would be a lot on my plate. But I just think there just has to be a lot more, you know. I don't want to just go into the whole solidarity with women. And of course, women have to support each other. But I think it starts in little ways, like not calling one another hoes. Just that. I never, ever called a woman that, even in high school. I was just like, we get enough from guys. Why would we call each other that? It just bugs me. It really does.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I really am. But Ameriie, it's been fabulous speaking to you.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best with your projects. I wish you all the best in coming to the UK version of Harry Potter. I'm sure you'll do it. I'm sure you'll fit that in your schedule somewhere.
Where it all began.
You're making me laugh. Part of me finds it really cute that you like Harry Potter as much as you do.
I really do. And the thing is, I didn't even read Harry Potter as a kid. You know, I got on board late. I got onto the Hogwarts Express late. I'm sorry, I'm letting my geek flag.
No, I love it. Be geeky. Thank you very much.